So I got this stand, which will allow the TV to face the room. It will allow it to face the yard. It will also allow it to face the fire pit. So I can actually sit at the fire pit if I want to watch a small TV, or if I'm waiting for something to come by or whatever, I can sit at the fire. Okay, so let's go to today's tools for today's part of the project. I need a pin so I can mark exactly where I'm going to be putting the holder stand. I need my level. It's a magnetic level, so it will stick to my stand. So as I'm mounting it, I can have a live level on it. I took these out of another box. As I said before, I save all the pieces out of these boxes of things. They give you so many different things that you'll never use. Well, I save these out of one of the boxes, which has screws, Phillips heads for the screwdriver, and my trusty drill, so I can drill my holes. That's it for this stage of the project. Oh yeah, and this particular stand was nice and came with a chart on where the wires need to be. Hence why I have the pin, where the screws need to be. Hence why I have the pin. So I can hold this up with the level and I can mark it out with my black pin where I'm going to be putting my screw holes, drill them. Okay, so the first thing I have to do is figure out the height of the TV. So if the TV is sitting here and it's facing that way, I don't want somebody at the couch to be hitting their head when they get in and out. So that means I'm probably going to be somewhere in here. So at the same time, when I fold the TV down, I want it to be out of the water. If any water was to come down from the roof anywhere, I want it against the wall. So we're still right there. Second hand, I got to make sure the bricks I'm putting the TV into are actually in the wall sturdy. Hear the difference? That brick is not sturdy. I don't want to put it there. It appears all the bricks around me are good, so I can drill anywhere. Now, I know the makeup of these bricks. That might not mean much, but it does mean when you're going to hold something up that's heavy. I know the center of the brick is actually solid. I know each end of the brick is actually solid. So that tells me that my top and bottom being in two brick sections, where I can actually put the holes right in the middle of the brick, which is the solid half. Not in the center two pieces where it's going to go into the dead end and only have like half an inch of brick and then nothing else. So I'm putting it into the middle of the two sections. So I know my height. I want it above, so I want it like here. I know my stand is at the top of this TV, which means if I put the stand middle here, the TV is going to hang to here, too low. So now I put the stand here, and I know the TV is going to be high. Is it going to be too high for this? Looking at the TV on top of the stand, I have exactly that much. So if I come over, figure out where this is, go down, looks like I'm looking at this section of bricks right here. Where I want to go, right here I think could be perfect because I can move it out, so it's going to come out and come back, or I can move it around. So right here is where I'm going to be. So I'm going to put an X at my top brick. Now I come into my oddball of the house. Most bricks are laid in a pattern, a very exact pattern. So if you look at the brick, my bricks at this house are not laid in an exact pattern. I have center pieces, center, between two bricks. Now it moves over to the left more, moves back to the right. So this brick being in the middle is going to line up to this brick not being in the middle. This brick, however, is lining up just right. This brick in the middle lines up to this brick in the middle. So now I have to hold the TV up, knowing where my stand goes. Is this too low? Because if I use these two bricks, I either put it here, which actually looks kind of nice, or I put it here, I think that's too low. So now I'm going to change again. Due to the brick pattern of this house, I want to stay in the middle. So I'm going to put the top of my stand here and the bottom of my stand here, which means I'll get a full brick either way. And that I'll just have to paint over and take out. So now, since I know where my stand goes, I'm going to take my little support. Top one is more important. Top one's definitely more important than the bottom one. Now I got to find where to put this, where I get my maximum hold. Looks like right here. It's going to be my maximum hold. So I'm going to do these 3 holes. Take my level, hold it up. I did not level it first. Too much excitement to get this done. I'm going to level it. Do my 3 holes there. Do my 3 holes there. And I got to mark the 3 holes, so they made 6 holes. I got to mark the 3 holes at the top. So there's my holes. Now, first thing you want to do is you want to drill a single hole and put your support in, put your beam in, your insert in. You want to make sure the insert goes in tight. You don't want the hole being too big. Holding the drill up, take the insert, take the biggest point, hold it in front of the drill, and really look at it, and it looks like this one is exact. Because again, these are out of a kit. If you hold the drill bit up, and you hold this right in front of the drill bit, you can see how it lines up almost exact. And it's the same exact what it needs to be. These are usually, when you get these, they come with directions. The directions tell you the size of the drill bit. Again, remember, these all came out of a kit. Who knows what device I got someplace that came with these drills, these bolts. So we'll start by drilling the first one. How deep does it have to be? You know how deep, because you have your gizmo. Now what you can do, a trick that I do sometimes to make things a little bit easier to figure out how deep the drill bit has to go, is if I take my item, my insert, hold it up, I can actually put marks around the drill bit. That way, as I'm drilling and my marks disappear, I know I'm deep enough. And I know I'm good. Because when you spin the drill, you can still see that mark. Let's drill the first hole. Let's move the couch back. This is going to be red dust because this is red brick. So the top 3 holes are done. The camera got loosened and it fell down, so you did not see me drill those top 3 holes. Top 3 holes are done. I did the first one in the middle first. That's the most important hole. Perfect. Then I did the one on the bottom. The one on the left actually went through because it's a little bit too far over in the brick. The one on the right is solid. Now we're going to do the same thing to the bottom 3 holes. And this time I'm locking the camera in. Okay, so now I'm ready to drill the bottom 3 holes. This one's definitely going to dead out. This one might stay. So we're going to do the one that's going to probably be the strongest first. So that one is good. As I thought, that one went right through. I don't need 3 holes in the bottom because the bottom 3 are basically just holding it in place. The top 3 actually hold it from bending. So this is red brick. And red brick is a very powdery. So before I put this in the bottom, I'm going to take a little bit of Gorilla Glue and put in this hole. I can catch this and put that in as well. What that's going to do is that's going to take any of the dust that's in there and it's going to glue it and make it solid. So now I'm going to take my guide again, hold up my holes to make sure they all fit, and they all seem to fit. This one did not go through either. This one came out. But if you see, it has the dust on it. So I'm going to put some glue in on this one as well. So my kit that came with this has 3 of these. So I'm going to use those 3 because this is what I was going to use. They're really close to being the same. Except these go a little deeper. So where am I going to use them? I'm going to use them on my dead end bolts. That way I don't have to worry about re-drilling any of the holes. Because the dead end bolts are dead ended. Meaning that they're open at the end. So we're going to start by putting 1 bolt in. So in a system where you have multiple bolts, you want to do 2 bolts first. And you want to tighten them all the way. Not right now though. You want to put 1 in the bottom corner on the left or the right. And you want to put a coincide one on the opposite corner on the opposite way. So my left one I did at the top is a bolt that opens up. Meaning it has no end, it just goes endless. The one I did at the bottom on this side, opposite, does have an end. So I'm going to tighten that all the way. Now one thing I'm noticing here is that the bottom of this seems to be out in a little bit more than the top. So I'm going to take one of these spacers. I'll show you the spacer in a minute that comes with it. And I'm going to put behind the bottom. And put it in. But because I'm using a spacer, I can no longer tighten that one up all the way. I got to put the second bolt in, because as soon as I tighten it up, the spacer is going to be in the way. And I'm not going to be able to get my second spacer in, because they both have to have a spacer. You can't use a spacer only on one side. So let's put my spacer in. Just start that bolt a little bit. Almost put the wrong screw in. Nobody told me. You gotta watch me. So, now I got my two screws in the bottom. This is when I take my level. I'm going to take my level and just magnetize it right there. And I got to hold everything so it's level. Then you tighten the two kitty corners, one on the right, one on the left in this case. Lower right, upper left. Now you have to remember, you are using plastic inserts, or I am using plastic inserts, which means you can't tighten the hell out of it. If you're used to using the older metal inserts, those you could tighten the hell out of. Using the plastic inserts, you cannot do that. Now the rest of these are all the way through. So I use the regular screws because they actually have an end. This is the most important one. We're going to do this one next. Using a screwdriver on things like this instead of a power drill, you're going to save yourself a lot of hassle. If I use the power drill to put this in, when I get to the end, the power drill, either A, you have it set so it's too weak, B, you have it set where it's just right, but the fact is that first one you put in, you probably either under-tightened it or you destroyed it because you didn't know the exact setting until you use it. I'd rather not sacrifice one to save a little bit of time with a power drill. So I'm going to do it by hand. To get it in there real nice and tight. And believe me, these are tight. I have one more to do down here, which is where I put my bigger screw in because it's open-ended. And our stand is up. This stand is actually quite expensive. I'll put the link at the bottom as usual. Probably have a link right there right now. Reason why it's expensive, it's designed for outside. It is actually designed to be used outside. So if you want to know how straight you are, put the thing out all the way, then put a level on it. It's pretty damn straight. As you go farther away from the wall, that little bit at this end becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and by the time it gets to the end, it's hideous. So you got to put it in straight. Like right here at the very, very end, I'm a little bit off. I'm actually touching the left side. Here, I'm good. Here, I'm actually in the middle. So, yeah, a little mistake here compounds. Just like putting money in the bank and letting savings go. If you keep saving and you cut savings on the savings and you compound your interest, my son is trying to put money in the bank every single month now because I brought up something to him that he looked up and found out I was right. It's funny when your sons are growing up or your kids are growing up, they ask your advice. When they get older, you tell them something, they don't believe your advice. They double check everything. At least mine does. I don't mind because when I'm not around, let them know how to double check and how to trust other people that I don't trust. So, now it's time to put the TV on. If you've been watching the channel, you've been realizing I talk about my son a lot. Yes, my son is still around. Yes, I have one of those kids that are staying, calls me, comes by when he can. He's at school. But at the same time, I never went through a rebellion period where he didn't want to be around me. I never went through a rebellion period where he wanted to not listen to anything I said. So I was lucky not to have any of those periods of chaos. So yes, I do talk about my son a lot. Because we went everywhere and did everything. Then he went to college, and it's just me now. Okay, we're going to hold up the TV. When you're hanging something like this, if it tilts, like this one does, you want it to tilt down. That way, when you let go, it's tilting to the point where it's not going to fall off. It's tilting where it's tilting into itself. Now this one comes with 2 screws. To hold the TV actually on. Start the first one. And start the second one. And this is where you're giving yourself a little bit of leeway. So if something is crooked, you can actually hang the TV a little bit crooked, and you can absorb the crookedness from what you're hanging. So I recommend when you hang the TV and you adjust it, put it out all the way. That way you can take your level and you can put your level on top of the TV and adjust this. Or even if the stand is crooked a little bit, you can adjust the TV to be completely, utterly perfect. So you have to put it this way to do that first bolt. And then you can turn it sideways. And you can get to the second one. You got to start by on this stand, there are these bolts are even labeled leveling bolts. This is not cheap. It was like almost 80 bucks. Still made in China though. Even at 80 bucks, you get something made in China. Hopefully that will change someday. Okay, so now we're level that way. This way is not as hard. Put the level on top. Hold it up until it's level. Then do it again because you don't have the right wrench. Okay, let's try this again. I moved where I was tightening. Just had to loosen it a hair. Don't put the TV against the wall and plug it in. You have a cable system. You need to use the cable system. There's a reason for the cable system. You don't want to have cords too short because then you're limiting what you can do with your TV. If you want to put a little bit of a lip and come right up to here and tie it on. Different kits have different systems and have a little bit up in each one. And tie it on. So we're going to have 3 cables here. We're going to have I just put 2 on here. Maybe I'm getting senile. We're going to have 3 cables here. 4 actually. Power cable. This little box that works off network, it actually sends the power down the network too, so you do not need to have any power at this end, which is kind of neat. So we're going to have 4 cables. The power for the TV box, smart TV that runs down. The power for the network connection to the TV box that runs to it, so I get maximum, don't have to worry about Wi-Fi. Because you have to remember, this is a metal box. I am putting the TV box in a metal box. When I put it in a metal box, I'm going to reduce my internet Wi-Fi capability tremendously because there's no holes on this box. So with that being said, I'm running a network cable to it. So I'll have power, TV, power, smart box, network cable, smart box, network cable, TV signal. So I'll have 4 wires running to this TV. And for now, put the TV against the wall. Fold this down. Make sure all my cables are long enough. Then put the TV against the wall. And that's it. TV's now mounted. It's mounted. I can move it around, watch it inside, watch it at the dining room table outside, watch it at the fire pit, watch it at the yard. I can watch it everywhere. All good.